This is Mike Hamrick over at Wilwood Disc Brakes. We've got Efrain Diaz's 1969 Camaro in this week. We're going to do some upgrades. Hey, what's happening, Efrain?
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Good, good. How was the drive up?
Had some hiccups, but it's okay.
Oh, okay.
Not too bad.
Hey, what have you been up to with the car? I know I've seen on social media you've been working on it a lot.
Yeah, I've had to do a lot of stuff. Optimum races are pretty hard on the car, so I had to change, all my hubs. They had some play in them, causing some piston knockback. Had a transmission issue, burned up a couple synchros and a gear set, so I had to take care of that. And throwout bearing was frozen, so I had to fix that.
Holy cow.
And it had a lot of issues. I mean, it takes a lot of wear, but I drive it hard. You see I'm driving it hard all the time, so I'm here so you can help me get the braking system done.
And you are the epitome of what OUSCI is all about.
Really?
That's driving the car to the events.
True.
I mean, you drive it everywhere. So that's, I hope we're going to be able to make the brakes a lot better for the problems you've been having. So the problems you've been experiencing is because you're going way faster.
I like that problem.
Yeah, you've been going a lot faster. And I know you because we've worked together for so many years now.
Right.
You're a humble guy. And that's awesome. But I can see that fire in your eye.
Oh, yeah.
So you've been going a lot faster, especially last year. I just saw the car running such fast laps, especially on the road course. So I think with the changes that we're going to be making with it, I think you're going to be even faster.
Well, that's great.
So
that's great.
The main thing we're going to do with the car while it's here is be able to manage the heat better. Right now, your saturation has come quickly. You've got drilled and slotted rotors, an old billet caliper, smaller billet caliper for that. It's an old super light. Right. So we're going to go to the Aerolite 6-piston quicksilver coating. We're going to go to the same dimensionally sized rotor, but it's going to be a 2-piece hat rotor floating. Now we've gone over the floating. We're going to talk about that later in the segment, but the floating is where we're going to gain a lot of better pedal feel. It's going to be a lot better for you.
Well,
so
good. I'm excited too. It's like, oh my God. It's like actually
awesome.
Had some brakes that really work really good. I mean, not that these were bad. They were great for what they were, but it's getting harder and harder to stop and go deep.
Well, as you make changes to the car, this is going to be the next change that's going to help you go a lot faster.
That makes sense in progression.
Yeah. So then this weekend, it's awesome. We're going to have your car this week. Then at the end of the week, we're going to have you come out to the Camaro autocross. We're going to sort it out, and I'm going to get some impressions from you.
No, that's great. Looking forward to it.
Awesome, man. Thanks.
Thank you.
So we brought Efrain's car over to the lab today, and what we started on is getting the old brakes off of it, and you can see this is really suited for street driving. Big 14-inch rotor, but it's been cross-drilled and slotted. What happens when we're drilling a rotor, we're taking all of the thermal capability out of the rotor. We want to leave as much mass in a rotor as possible so that it'll take the temperature and help us dissipate it. So that's going to be a big difference because what we're going to put on is our GT Spec 37 material rotor. And you can see it's slotted only. This is going to help clean the leading edge of the brake pad off. But it's not going to have the drilled holes, which is taking mass out of the rotor. We want as much mass as we can get. The thing that we're going to match it to is a floating hat. Now, the floating hat, what it's going to allow us to do with these T-bolts, it's going to allow the rotor to expand and contract, because that's what rotors do. They grow as they get hot. But then after it cools down, we want it to come back down to its original size. Moving over to the calipers, this has been a staple caliper for us 40 years. It's our super light. This particular caliper is about 10 years old. It's an old billet narrow super light. You can see that it uses a 4 3/4 inch brake pad. Again, great, and it's suited well for street applications. but he's been taking this car out and doing so many more track events over the last few years that this is not helping us take the temperature that we're getting into the system and dissipate it for us. So we're going to move over to our nickel-plated Quicksilver Aerolite 6-piston caliper with a 6-inch long brake pad. So the big difference between these is this pad's going to last longer because it has more cubic volume, and it's going to be a larger brake pad, so it's going to take more temperature and help dissipate it. Both kits are radial mount, so that's great. But as far as this, along with floating capabilities of the rotor, it's going to give Efrain a much more consistent brake pad, brake pedal feel, and it's going to be a more rigid system. So we're going to get going on this thing and get this new front brake kit installed. So we've got everything installed. We're going to go ahead and go out and bed the brakes in, and we're going to get the car ready for Efrain to give us some feedback at the autocross this weekend. We'll see you guys out there. We'll have another segment on that.